Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the stories that shaped our childhoods. Today we're unlocking the secrets of a tale you probably think you know inside and out. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. But is it just a simple story about a curious girl and some porridge? Or is there something more profound hiding just beneath the surface? Let's set the scene. Deep in a sun-dappled forest, there lived a family of three bears. A great big papa bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a wee little baby bear. Their cottage was the picture of rustic charm, cozy and filled with the scent of pine and honey. One morning, Mama Bear made a delicious pot of porridge for breakfast. But oh dear, it was far too hot to eat. "Let's go for a walk in the woods while it cools," suggested Papa Bear in his great gruff voice. And so, off they went, leaving their little cottage empty and their breakfast steaming on the table. Now, not far from this very forest lived a little girl with hair the color of spun gold. Her name was, you guessed it, Goldilocks. She was a bright, adventurous soul, but sometimes her curiosity got the better of her. That very morning, she was out picking wildflowers when she stumbled upon the bear's charming little cottage. The door was slightly ajar, and the tantalizing smell of sweet porridge wafted out. "I wonder who lives here," she thought to herself. Peeking inside and seeing no one, she decided to step in. After all, what harm could a quick look do? The first thing Goldilocks noticed was the table set for three. There was a great big bowl for Papa Bear, a middle-sized bowl for Mama Bear, and a wee little bowl for Baby Bear. Feeling a bit peckish from her morning walk, she decided to have just a tiny taste. First, she tried the porridge from Papa Bear's great big bowl. "Ouch!" she cried, pulling her spoon back. "That's way too hot!" Next, she sampled the porridge from Mama Bear's middle-sized bowl. "Brr," she shivered. "This one is too cold." Finally, she dipped her spoon into the wee little bowl that belonged to Baby Bear. She smiled. "This porridge is just right." And it was so delicious that she ate it all up. Feeling full and content, Goldilocks looked around for a place to sit. In the living room, she saw three chairs. There was a great big chair for Papa Bear, a middle-sized chair for Mama Bear, and a wee little chair for Baby Bear. She climbed into Papa Bear's great big chair first. "Oh my," she said, sinking into the cushions. "This chair is much too hard." Then she tried Mama Bear's middle-sized chair. "This one's no good either," she grumbled, as she sank so deep she could barely see over the arms. "It's far too soft." Finally, she spotted the wee little chair. It looked perfect. She sat down, and it felt just right. But Goldilocks was so pleased, she began to rock back and forth and... crash! The little chair broke into pieces all over the floor. Now, with a full tummy and nowhere to sit, Goldilocks started to feel sleepy. She wandered upstairs to the bedroom, where she found, you guessed it, three beds. There was a great big bed for Papa Bear, a middle-sized bed for Mama Bear, and a wee little bed for Baby Bear. She climbed onto Papa Bear's great big bed. "This won't do," she yawned. "The head of the bed is too high." So, she hopped over to Mama Bear's middle-sized bed. "Still not right," she sighed. "The foot of this bed is too high." At last, she tried the wee little bed that belonged to Baby Bear. It was soft, cozy, and perfectly flat. It was, in a word, just right. Goldilocks pulled the covers up to her chin, and in no time at all, she was fast asleep, dreaming sweet dreams. Meanwhile, the three bears were heading home from their walk. They were happy, refreshed, and very ready for their breakfast. But as they approached their cottage, Papa Bear stopped. In his great gruff voice, he growled, "Someone's been at my porridge." Mama Bear looked at her bowl and said in her middle-sized voice, "And someone's been at my porridge too." Then, little Baby Bear looked at his empty bowl and cried in his wee little voice, "Someone's been at my porridge, and they've eaten it all up." The bears were quite puzzled. They moved into the living room. Papa Bear looked at his chair and roared, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." Mama Bear noticed her cushion was all squashed and said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair too." And poor little baby bear looked at the pile of wood on the floor and wailed, "Someone's been sitting in my chair and they've broken it all to pieces." Now they were truly concerned. Quietly, they tiptoed up the stairs to the bedroom. Papa Bear went to his bed and bellowed, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed." Mama Bear saw her rumpled covers and said, "And someone's been sleeping in my bed too." Then Baby Bear crept over to his own little bed, and what did he see? Peeking out from under his blanket was a tuft of golden hair. In his wee little voice, full of surprise, he squeaked, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and here she is." That little squeak was just loud enough to wake Goldilocks up. She opened her eyes and saw 3 furry, bewildered bear faces staring down at her. One great big face, one middle-sized face, and one wee little face. For a moment she was frozen. Then, with a gasp of fright, she leaped out of the bed, shot past the bears, and scrambled down the stairs. She didn't stop at the broken chair or the empty porridge bowl. She flew out the open door, ran through the woods as fast as her legs could carry her, and didn't stop running until she was safely back in her own home. The 3 bears just watched her go, more confused than angry. And Goldilocks, well, she never went back to the bears' cottage in the woods again. So, what can we take away from this? On the surface, it's a cautionary tale about respecting others' property and the dangers of unchecked curiosity. Goldilocks learns a valuable, if scary, lesson, but many people see a deeper meaning. The just right principle, often called the Goldilocks principle, is used in everything from psychology and economics to astronomy. It's the idea that the best outcome is found not at the extremes, but somewhere in the middle, a balance. Not too hot, not too cold, not too hard, not too soft. Just right. It's a powerful metaphor for finding moderation and balance in our own lives. What do you think the story is really about? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back into a classic fairy tale. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more stories and hidden meanings. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Until then, stay curious, but maybe don't wander into any strange cottages. Thanks for watching.